So I saw Avatar 2 a couple days ago. I'm not gonna lie, I liked it a pretty good amount. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still slightly on the fence about the rating though. If I had to give it a rating, I'd say it's about like a 7 out of 10 or so. Do you know what I mean? 13 years was way too long of a wait, way too long. Like what the frick was James Cameron doing? Like wiping his ass? You know what I'm saying? Like what the frick? What was going on with that James Cameron? I heard like it was only a couple years ago we actually started even writing the damn film. Like what the frick? Yo, 13 years and all you could do was this. I'm not gonna lie, it was still good. Do you know what I mean? It was still good, but it should have been spectacular. 13 years to make a movie. If I had 13 years to make a movie, learn about writing, learn about film directing, and all that type of stuff, in 13 years, I can make one of the greatest movies of all time on Granny. Most of y'all in the audience probably could do as well. You know what I'm saying? That's the fact. So James Cameron, I'm not gonna lie, you definitely missed the bag on this one. You missed the ball. You know what I mean? I mean, it was good enough. It was good enough, but it's not gonna pass like I don't think it's gonna pass $2 billion. I don't even think it's gonna hit $2 billion. If I'm gonna be honest. You know what I mean? So James Cameron, you gotta do some real reevaluations here. You gotta figure out what the frick you're doing, what the frick is going on. Okay. Anywho, and I heard there's supposed to be what is it? Two more movies after this one. I heard one of them was supposed to be like 9 hours long. I heard that. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I heard. So, if so, man, you're gonna have to take a whole entire day off of work. You know what I'm saying? That's a shift in an hour. You know what I'm saying? That shift is about like 8 hours long, but nine? Damn. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to take a whole day off of work just to watch that damn film. You dig what I'm saying? So hopefully that's spread across the two films, but even still, that's a while. You know, that's like almost 4 hours each. You know what I mean? A little over 4 hours. Anywho, we're gonna house right into this video. By the critical drinker, Avatar 2, the best and worst of James Cameron. Then I'm gonna add my additional commentary and analysis. Okay.
Well, this was always going to be an interesting one to review. Avatar 2 is a movie saddled with a metric ton of expectations, not just because it's a long-awaited sequel to literally the biggest movie of all time, but because it's also one of the only big releases this year that doesn't revolve around dinosaurs or people dressed in capes and spandex. So what exactly is the deal, dear viewer? Was Avatar 2 worth the 13-year wait, or is it just a bloated vanity project by an aging filmmaker whose ego now outstrips his abilities? Well, weirdly, the answer is both yes and no. The best way I can put this is that Avatar 2 represents both the best and worst tendencies of James Cameron as a filmmaker. On the one hand, it's visually spectacular, delivering majestic shots of alien worlds that outstrip even those of the original movie.
Dude, the CGI in this movie is probably some of the best CGI I've ever seen, if not the best CGI and visuals I've ever seen in my entire life ever. It is spectacular. It really is a spectacle to watch. It's truly grand. Like dead ass. You could literally just look at some like the pictures and be like, "Yo, this literally looks like a real place like in like another planet or something like that. Like the Amazonian forest or something like that." It looks so good, dude. Like it truly looks amazing.
It's got some excellent action sequences that perfectly merge CGI with practical effects to deliver fantastic scenes of explosive destruction and violence. And it's all built around a refreshingly traditional central storyline about the importance of family, loyalty, trust, and sacrifice. But then on the other hand, it suffers from a bloated and self-indulgent screenplay that drags on for at least an hour longer than it needs to. An extensive cast of mostly forgettable and superfluous characters with simplistic personalities and very little in the way of recognizable arcs. Terrible dialogue that reminds me of the very worst aspects of Rings of Power.
Rocks are sinky because they look downwards to darkness. Boats float because they look up at shiny sky. Do you get it?
And a heavy-handed...
Who the frick wrote that? George Lucas? I don't like sand. Oh man, you remember George Lucas used to have all types of dog water lines in his movies.
environmental message that comes across as cheap, forced, and weirdly dated when you see it in context. In short, Avatar 2 is both a good and bad movie depending on how you choose to view it, and I suspect I'm going to get shit from both sides of the aisle on this one, but what the hell, let's give it a try anyway. So the breezy opening montage of this film outlines the events of the past decade or so. Following the defeat of the humans in the previous movie, Jake Sully becomes the new leader of the Na'vi tribe and settles down to start a family with Neytiri. Before you know it, they've got 2 sons, a daughter, mother, an adopted daughter, an adopted human son named Spider, and a partridge in a fucking pear tree. Oh yeah, and Spider just so happens to be the son of Colonel Quaritch from the first film. Wow, we really kept that one quiet, didn't he? Oh,
Yeah.
Miles, you sly dog, you. It's almost like the guy was totally retconned in after the fact. But don't worry, we'll talk more about Spider soon enough.
Dude, yeah, you could tell that James Cameron was grasping at straws with this film. Like he did he didn't know what he wanted to do. He didn't know where he wanted to go. He was just like, I'm gonna just pull everything I can out of my ass and see what sticks.
Believe that. Anyway, all is well and peaceful and idyllic in Jake's world until one day the humans return in force and establish a new city for themselves. And I love how everyone's completely shocked by this event. I mean, really, did you think they were just going to give up one of the most valuable planets in the universe just because they suffered one temporary setback? Anyway, the humans aren't here just to mine Pandora for resources this time around. Now they want to colonize the whole planet and make it their new home because apparently Earth is dying due to pollution or overpopulation or something. How exactly did they plan to colonize an alien planet where they can't even breathe the air without dying? Don't know. And the humans aren't the only thing that's back either. Remember Colonel Quidditch from the first film? Remember how he totally died when Neytiri turned him into a human pincushion? Well, he's back, in Navi form. Yeah, apparently before his final mission, he took the precaution of downloading all his memories and personality onto a computer, which then got uploaded into a new avatar body that was conveniently being grown for him. Wow, that was lucky. It's also lucky they apparently did all this stuff off screen, because it's not like Cameron would retcon all of this stuff in after the fact just to bring back a popular antagonist or anything.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, he was grasping at straws. He had no idea what he wanted to do with this film. I don't even think he was gonna be. I don't even think he thought the first film was gonna be as successful as it was. I think he was just like super successful and exploded. He was like, "Frick, what do I do now? They want another movie. Oh God, I'm gonna just bring him back to life and then add a damn." He has a son too that's working with the Navi. I don't know, fucking like. Let's just see what works here.
I think I can smell shite.
Anyway, whatever. The upshot is that Blue Man Quidditch and the rest of his squad are sent out to assassinate Jake and his family, and although they fail in the attempt, they're able to capture Spider and take him prisoner. Knowing that he might eventually lead Quidditch and the others back to the Navi, Jake and the others make the decision to run away and seek refuge with the water people on the other side of the planets. I mean, if I was Quidditch, I'd probably go there anyway, take the whole tribe prisoner, and start interrogating people until someone told me where Jake went, but maybe that's just me. Either way, this all leads into what I like to call the family drama section of the movie. And you'd better strap in for this one because it's at least 90 minutes of sheer fucking inertia. I can't emphasize enough how boring this entire section is. It's literally a cheap, predictable teen drama ported into a sci-fi setting with nice visuals. Jake and his family have to move to a new neighborhood where his kids struggle to make friends, get into fights with local bullies, and have to prove themselves to find a place in the group. The weird, socially awkward daughter finally finds her calling in life, and one of his sons even starts a mixed-race relationship with a local girl. It's the kind of trite, cliched stuff that we've all seen a million times before, and the fact that it's all happening between blue alien Smurf people, and that the film takes itself so completely seriously, makes the whole thing unintentionally hilarious. Anyway, after about 3 fucking ice ages, the script remembers that there's supposed to be other stuff going on, so Quidditch and his diabolical mates show up, kill a bunch of giant sea turtle whale things to make the Navi angry, and then there's a big shootout on a big flying boat thing, and most of the bad guys die, and Jake and the others live happily ever after.
Dude, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That film kind of went all over the place, dude. It was like it almost seemed like they forgot certain parts of the storyline, and they're like, "Oh crap, we're supposed to be also having this too," and they would just they would just jump back and forth to like different stories in the story, and it was like it's that's why I'm like I need to watch this movie again. Like at least like I'm gonna have to watch it after the first one too, so I can really give it like a really good rating to understand like what the freak even really happened in this film. It was all over the place. I'm not gonna lie. There's just too much going on.
Breaking Avatar 2 down is kind of a tough one because it seems like everything that counts in its favour also ends up working against it in the end. Like I said earlier, it's a visual masterpiece that's gorgeous to look at, and you can tell that a lot of love and care went into crafting the world of Pandora, from the trees and the landscapes to the vibrant ecosystems and wildlife. But then, as I kind of predicted in my trailer video, visual spectacle is nothing new in movies today, and the more you see it in this film, the less impact it ends up having. Realistically, there's only so many spectacular shots of alien landscapes, underwater reefs, towering jungles, and floating mountains that I can take before my brain becomes kind of numb to the whole thing. It's like being fed the world's largest chocolate cake morning, noon, and night for an entire year. Eventually, you're going to get kind of sick of it. The story of Jake and his struggle to protect his family is meant to be the glue that holds this movie together, and while it's definitely refreshing to see a modern film that champions the importance of the family unit instead of trying to deconstruct and destroy it, and
Dude, that is facts. Holy frick. What is up with that? Like, y'all hate family? Like, what the y'all want everyone to just, like, what, spawn in solo and just solo play life? I don't know what the frick is up with that one.
dares to portray fathers as brave protectors, wise teachers, and strong leaders instead of useless, incompetent, effeminate cowards. It also doesn't really develop Jake all that much as a character. Basically, he starts the movie as a loving father willing to make tough choices to keep his family safe, and he ends the film in exactly the same way. Say what you want about the first movie, but Jake at least had a definable character arc in that story. Really though, the narrative focus is less on Jake and Neytiri and more on their children, and that creates its own set of problems. Because honestly, the teen drama stuff drags on for so long that the whole plot basically stops dead in the water for a good hour, to the point where I genuinely started to forget what was even supposed to be happening. It was like being locked in a sensory deprivation tank where all concept of time and space starts to melt away. The film's environmental messaging is commendable, I guess, but it's implemented about as subtly as the anti-colonial stuff from the first movie. Rather than the magical bullshit mineral from the first Avatar, the new magical bullshit material at the heart of this film is the brain fluid from the giant sea turtle whale things that the Na'vi love.
The
and I'm not
brain
kidding,
juice.
they really love them. Like, they stop and have chats with them about how their family lives are going and how their day's working out. And again, this movie portrays a ludicrous concept in such a serious way that it becomes unintentionally hilarious. But then, of course, the humans have to show up to ruin the party. They get brutally hunted with harpoons, and it's all shown in excruciating detail, and I found myself asking a simple question. Why? Like, I think we all pretty much agreed decades ago that whale hunting is awful and unnecessary and shouldn't be done anymore, and it just feels weird for this movie to make it such a thematic focal point. Also, there's not even the slightest attempt to portray the humans with any kind of nuance or subtlety. The fact that they're on Pandora to literally fight for the survival of their species opens up some interesting possibilities about the moral imperative behind their actions and whether or not they might have a valid reason for doing all of this. But hey, why waste time on complex, intriguing questions like that when you can have another hour of lovingly rendered blue teenagers swimming through glow-in-the-dark coral reefs? It's the same simplistic black and white morality as the
Well, you have to admit, like, humans, if humans have been to other planets, we probably destroyed all them bitches. Like, like, bro, look at what we've done to our own planet since the Industrial Revolution. We just mollywop the entire planet. Why do you think Elon Musk is trying to get out of here to Mars so damn bad? Because he knows we already dog sausaged the entire planet, sucked it of all of its resources, mass slaughtered the animals, put all types of pollution in the air and then in the water. Like, bro, it's not good. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the future there was like a damn spaceship we have to take up out of here if we can even get out of here. Spaceship to take up out of here to find another planet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be shocked.
First film, the humans, almost without exception, are portrayed as evil, destructive, greedy, militaristic, pollution-spewing monsters that spread like a cancer across the impossible natural beauty of Pandora, while the Na'vi are depicted in the most flattering possible light at all times. They're peaceful, harmonious, egalitarian, brave, noble, selfless, and completely in tune with the natural environment. It's basically the tired, noble savage trope ported over into blue aliens. Oh yeah, and then there's Spider. God, I hate this character. His entire presence in this movie makes absolutely zero sense. Like, why would you choose to live on an alien planet where the very air would kill you if you didn't have a magic respirator with infinite...
It's because they most likely wanted to make the theme of this story about, like, family. So they had to give the villain family as well, I guess.
oxygen that never falls off, gets damaged, or stops functioning? Why does he talk like a Californian surfer bro? Why does his actor not have any actual acting ability? Why does he make an absolutely terrible decision at the end of the film that will almost certainly result in untold death and suffering for his adopted people? Don't
family. Oh, oh, ooh. Okay.
Don't know. All of this stuff smacks of a filmmaker that's been given a bit too much power and money for his own goods. I mean, I can't fault the amount of care and work that Cameron's obviously put into the technical aspects of Avatar 2. I just wish he'd put that same level of thought into the story and characters, especially when he had 13 years to do it. And more than that, I
Bro,
wish
apparently he didn't even start filming until like a few years ago. So he's just been sitting on his ass.
someone had been around to make him do it. The more I think about this film, the more I'm reminded of the Star Wars prequels, where George Lucas had unlimited creative and financial freedom to indulge all his worst excesses as a filmmaker, and everyone around him was too afraid to call him out on it. Avatar 2 suffers from a similar problem. It's what happens when a filmmaker is given too much time, too much money, and too much freedom, and it all starts to go to his head. Ultimately, I struggle to decide whether or not to recommend this film to people. If it had been an hour shorter and maybe a bit smarter and more nuanced, it would have been a no-brainer for me. But as it stands, even though it's better than almost anything else put out by Disney this year, it's so long, so bloated, and so self-indulgent that I really don't know if it's worth your time and money. And if the early box office results are anything to go by, I might not be the only one.
If you're looking for a way to kill time, it's not a bad way to kill time. It was enjoyable. It was kind of slow at a lot of parts in the movie, so if you're tired, you might fall asleep. But it was good. It had some pretty good action in there as well. That's why I'd say I give it like a 7. I give it, somewhere like around a 7, I'd say.
Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Yo, serious question, y'all. What did y'all think about Avatar 2 for the people out there who saw it? Like, I want y'all to put in the comments what your rating of the movie was. And do you want me to make more like reaction reviews like this? I don't think anyone really does this type of review, like where I'm watching someone's review and reviewing at the same time and analyzing their review. This is like a double review. So y'all gonna have to let me know if you actually like this